My name is Kyle Juszczyk. I'm from Lafayette, Ohio. Graduated out of Cloverleaf High School and played tight end at Harvard University. I think it's pretty cool to win this award. It's always cool to get, individual recognition. But, as we all know, football is a team sport. So, all these awards I've gotten this postseason are directly related to my teammates, especially like my quarterback, Colton Chappell and Collier Winters were phenomenal this year. And, everyone else on the offense. Most of, my long receptions came at the end of the season. I think it was Game 7. We were playing Columbia and caught a 5-yard out and turned it into a 41-yard touchdown that I believe was the go-ahead touchdown for the game. And so, there's obviously a lot of emotion there. It's always, good to put your team ahead. Last game of the season against Yale, just to kind of top it off, we ended up winning this game 45-7, but just put the icing on the cake, caught a 60-yard touchdown from my senior quarterback, Collier Winters, and that's obviously pretty cool. It's the biggest game on our schedule, and it was on national television. So, it's always cool to make those plays in front of a big crowd like that. I'd say playing at Harvard is definitely a unique experience. Being, part of such a tradition and a long history, at Harvard and the Ivy League in general. Specifically, as a team, we have a lot of traditions. We always have, there's a big pep rally for the Harvard-Yale game. That's a really big game for us. And some specific traditions. That always after a big win, we'll all meet in our locker room, and Coach Murphy, our head coach, will shake everyone's hand, congratulate him at the door. He's always the last one in, and we'll form a big circle, and he'll come running in and jump off the chair and jump into the pile, and we'll celebrate that way. Typical Tuesday in season, will consist of, we'll have a morning lift at starting at 6 a.m. Normally get out of there around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Come back, eat breakfast, get ready for class, which is, normally class starts around 10 or 11 o'clock. Get out of there by, normally around 2 o'clock. We have film from about 2:30 to 4. 4 o'clock we start practice. A lot of times we'll have film after practice till about 7, sometimes 7:30. Get back to, get dinner, get back to the dorms, and from there, it depends on how much homework you got, but that's normally, your only free time is after dinner, which comes about 8:30 at night. So it's a pretty busy schedule there. Yeah, the architecture and just the campus in general is beautiful here. If you walk into what we call the yard, which is where all the freshmen live, you'll see, buildings that date back to the 1800s that are always refurbished and kept looking their best. It's really cool to, live in these kind of quarters where, people have been living here for literally hundreds of years. And, it's just kind of unique. We're also, we're set right in downtown Cambridge. So you step outside of this yard, which is full of, trees, open lawn, and you step outside the gates and you're right in the middle of the city. So it's an interesting place. To be honest, I can't really name it. I don't think I could name many of them. But, it's definitely an honor to be, part of that tradition, and just to be recognized, with that Harvard name. People hear Harvard, and they're going to think about, those kind of people, politicians and whatnot. So, it's cool to represent those kind of people. Yeah, my hobbies, they're a little different at school. Coming from Ohio, we do a lot more things kind of outdoors. There's a lot more room to move around, and a lot more, nature. But being here in the city, I like to spend a lot of time playing cards. I kind of picked that up in high school. Playing cards, just, going out with friends, doing the usual college thing. Tight end it's a unique position, and, my favorite position for that reason, that it's hard to describe. When people ask me what position I play, it's, I can't just say tight end, because I'm not really just a tight end. I'll line up at wide receiver, I'll line up at fullback, I'll line up at tight end, I'll be, a slot guy. It really it depends on the play. Sometimes even quarterback or running back. So, I think it suits me well, because I've been, since high school, I've used that, that versatility to my advantage, and it's really played out well, in our offense, because we're able to use, that position pretty well. Yeah, people hear the name Harvard and think, that those classes must be full of, geniuses and not too many athletes, would be able to hang in there. But it really, the classes come down to just being able to manage your time. It's not that the material is that advanced or that hard. It's just being able to sort through what's important and what's not. And specifically for myself, I'm an economics concentrator, which, attracts all sorts of brainiacs. But it really, like I said, it comes down to being able to manage your time and, pick out the important things. Yeah, absolutely. I'd say my biggest influence is a couple people. First off, both my brothers. Growing up, my brothers and I, we were always outside playing football, whether it was one-on-one with an all-time quarterback to, with a group of the neighborhood kids. Well, a specific event that I always like to point out is I was probably all of 8 years old, and my oldest brother, he's 5 years older than me. He made me stay outside until it was past dark. I had to stay outside until I caught 50 passes in a row. I wasn't allowed inside to go eat dinner until we caught 50 in a row. So that always stands out as a pretty cool thing that, always inspires me. I can always, look to both of my brothers for inspiration when it comes to football. Another one is one of my high school coaches, and actually one middle school coach as well, Dave Ward. He's always been, a phenomenal coach and mentor for me. And even after I graduated high school, I still talk to him once a week, give him all my updates on football, and he's always such a great supporter and always gives me positive feedback. And, if Coach is riding me good on a certain day, I can always call him, and he can put things into perspective and always make me feel better. Yeah, absolutely. I grew up, my parents got divorced when I was at a young age, around 5. And so I grew up with a single parent, a single mother, and I definitely think that helped me grow as a person. Not having a father figure around, you really gotta, you kind of rely on yourself a lot. Luckily, I had 2 older brothers to also, help me through the process. But really, it gives you that gut check of who you are, and kind of have to grow as your own person. And I think I benefited from the whole situation. Oh man, actually, that play I had mentioned earlier at Yale, right when I had scored that, but right before I had scored that 60-yard touchdown, before going onto the field, I knew it was probably one of our last series as the first team since we were up pretty big, and I knew it was one of our last series for our senior quarterback ever. So I told him, hey Collier, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and I'll catch any sort of touchdown. It's over 50 yards for you. We'll just get out of here like that. And it just so happens 3 plays later, he throws it to me and we go 60 yards. So I felt like that was a pretty funny instance. I'd like to thank College Football Performance Awards for the 2011 Elite Tight End Award. Harvard football fans expect a big year out of us next year.